Well, greetings everyone, and welcome to a truly special online event today. It's called Connect to Your Inner Healer through Quantum Touch. How to activate your body's built-in healing intelligence for more energy, balance, and well-being. My name is Stephen Dunn. I'm the founder and president of the Shift Network, and I'm really thrilled to be with you here today, getting to learn from two of the foremost experts in the realm of quantum touch, which is a really powerful methodology for accessing a healing intelligence from within that can really shift your life in so many profound ways. So we're going to be here today with Deborah Gair, who's a quantum touch ambassador and instructor, as well as her co-instructor, Henri and Furgiuele. And she's the Quantum Touch Director of Learning and Curriculum Development, as well as a Quantum Touch Ambassador. So Deborah and Henri, thank you so much for joining today.
Thank you for having us, Stephen.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Great. Well, we're going to dive in, and I also want to let everyone know up front that we're going to have a brand new course featuring Deborah and Henri that is called Embodying Your Inner Healer with Quantum Touch, and we'll share more about that towards the end of the hour if you get sparked and want to go further. So it's always illuminating to have a bit of backstory before we dive into the subject domain expertise here today. And Deborah, I'd love for you to share a little bit about your journey into activating your own inner healer through quantum touch.
Yeah, certainly, Stephen. Well, I guess it started 3 decades ago. So 30 years ago, I was involved in a near fatal collision. And for 6 years following that collision, I experienced very significant pain and discomfort and so on. And because I was a scientist, I was trained as a scientist, I was very much going down totally the conventional route to my own healing. And for 6 years, everything actually failed. I tried absolutely everything from physiotherapists, chiropractors, osteopaths, everything conventional, to the point where I was actually on 14 different medications every day. And life just became shocking. And I really reached out into my soul one day after the pain management consultant at the hospital said, "There's absolutely nothing else we can do for you. You'll just have to learn to live with your condition. The only thing we could try would be exploratory spinal surgery. And we have absolutely no idea what would happen, but it would be very close to your spinal cord. And so it would really be an experiment. Would you like to go ahead?" That was when, my soul just screamed out and said, I've literally had enough. And when I went home, I really, really asked for help. I asked for something. I knew as a scientist, there had to be something, or had I just at that time exhausted the paradigm of science? And it was really extraordinary because within 1 week of that real cry for help, because I literally had tried everything and nothing changed anything at all. In fact, I would say I was worse after those 6 years. And within a week of asking, a mysterious leaflet wafted across the desk of a friend of mine, and it said, "Quantum Touch, a significant breakthrough in hands-on healing." And it made things seem very simple and very easy for relieving the possibility of relieving discomfort and pain. And so she called me up and she said, "Would you like to try this?" And I said, "Well, I mean, what have I got to lose?" But of course, I was very, very skeptical. And there were no instructors in the UK where I was living. And so the only option at that time, this was 24 years ago, the only option at that time was to order the big clunky VHS video cassettes and play them on an old video recorder, ancient technology. But that's exactly what we did. We ordered them, and a group of us got together over a weekend, and watched the founder of Quantum Touch, Richard Gordon, do these what seemed like very simple body awareness and breathing exercises. And we were simply following his instructions. We had no prior experience whatsoever. And the lady who was working with me was doing this specific exercise shown on the videos by Richard Gordon. And within 10 minutes, I could rotate my neck, which I had not been able to do despite all these, conventional medical treatments that I'd been exploring for 6 years. I could fully rotate my neck again, and the pain wasn't there. And it was literally one of those jaw-dropping moments because I couldn't believe it. And I even thought, this is it's going to come back. Of course it'll come back. This can't be real or true. But I kept thinking about my call from really deep within for something to show up that could literally save my life, because I really didn't want to go on at that point. Things were so bad. And so the amazing thing is that it didn't come back. And it was so extraordinary that we just kept practicing it on one another, and other people's pains and discomforts and sufferings and so on melted away as well. And so that was when I knew that I just had to become a practitioner. The entire course of my life changed. And after becoming a practitioner, then I knew I just wanted to teach people how to do this for themselves, because it's so simple and so readily available from within.
What an amazing story. I mean, miraculous, frankly, and such a great testimonial for the power of this work. And Henri, I'd love for you to share a little bit about your backstory, what brought you to the work with Quantum Touch as well.
I loved hearing Deborah's sharing, and mine for me was not as dramatic as hers, but for me was just as essential for me to live, because at the time I met Quantum Touch, I was a recluse. I had this brilliant idea of detoxing my body, get rid of the sugar, the lard. I'd grown up with all of those kinds of yummy things that were made with such love, but left such a footprint in my body. And I was raw foods, working with intensive fasting and different kinds of food systems, and the detoxing worked. But it opened me up so much that I was raw. It was like I was a newborn with no skin around me. I would be walking down the street in winter, 3 inches of winter clothing on, and I could feel the fumes of a bus 5 blocks away go into the pores of my skin. And even more uncomfortable with just looking at someone, emotional intuitiveness. I could feel what they just talked about for breakfast. Could feel the fight they had just walking past someone on the street, and I couldn't turn it off. So if I couldn't control what was coming in, I could control where I went. And yet at that moment, again, my inner cry for help. And I opened this New Age newspaper at the time. That was where you learned things. Quantum Touch. If you like Reiki, if you like acupuncture or acupressure, you'll love Quantum Touch. Everyone can do it. And so I went, I don't know what this is. I have no idea what energy healing is, but I'm going to give it a try. Something in my heart said, go. So I took a 2-hour train ride to get there. And within 2 hours, learned how to bring fresh energy in. I didn't have to absorb someone's unhappy moment, just walking by them on the street. I had the ability to be around people again. I could ride the subway again. Didn't have to leave my home at the Boston. I lived a block away from the finish line of the Boston Marathon. I'd have to leave because I couldn't handle the pressure of the energy of all those people there, marathon time. and no more. It immediately gave me an energy that lifted my foundation. It stabled me at all levels, emotionally, mentally. It gave me room to breathe. And that is priceless. And
Wow.
now I travel all over the world, teach in some of the most populated cities, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Tokyo. Not a problem in the world, because with quantum touch, there's always fresh energy support at a foundational level that you can bring in. And the
Wow.
skill goes with you where you go. So that's it. That is my
Well,
story.
that's a very dramatic story in its own right, particularly with that level of sensitivity to other people as well and their fields of energy. So let's circle back, Deborah, and ask you a little bit about like little how it works. So what's happening when you're sort of able to tap into this deeper healing intelligence with quantum touch? How is that rewiring your physical system and then your emotional system as well?
Yeah, for sure it does. We all have within us already this incredible, probably undiscovered for most people, this incredible inner reservoir that's mostly untapped. And when we use the breathing and body awareness exercises, we rediscover that. It's like plugging back into your own self. You know, oftentimes we're very externally focused in the world. We live in sort of a disconnected way. But with quantum touch, we're actually showing someone how to re-access and re-remember what's already within us. And that brings a real depth and degree of balance. We're really beginning to tune back into our own system, our own well-being that's already there, actually, but we've just sort of lost touch of it.
Hmm. Henry, I'd love for you to build on that, that there's actually sort of a template that's sort of, beyond the sort of the whatever the debilitating pattern or the disease is that you're tapping
Yeah,
into.
what Deborah was just talking about, in quantum touch, we call this the inner healer, this deep intelligence that exists at all of our levels, uh, definitely more than what we have in our conscious mind. As Richard said, sometimes you can't even find your car keys. How can you find this deeper intelligence that Deborah is talking about? Well, this is what quantum touch opens the door to active, simple, yet essential ways that connect you to that unlimited power of to feel good at all levels. We're not just talking physiologically, we're talking give yourself an uplift emotionally, or clear your mind, or open yourself to insights at a much higher frequency. All of these things come through orchestrated by that intelligence. And
Hmm.
all it is healing ourselves from inside out.
Hmm. So Deborah, there's a building a bridge to this inner healing intelligence and an uplift that Henry is just describing. Maybe share a little bit more about how your perception is of what's happening with your energy system when you build that bridge and start to increase your energy level.
Yeah, when we build that bridge, it's really about reconnecting and re-remembering. It's definitely tapping back into the universal life force energy, which is always available for all of us at all times. It's just a case of, we've forgotten. Certainly after the car accident, I'd completely forgotten, and I didn't know where that switch was. I didn't know how to plug myself back into the universal life source. And once I did, through those breathing and body awareness exercises, it's literally like you're being refueled on every level of your being. So, not only physical, but also mental, spiritual, emotional, on all the levels, you're literally being refueled. And that's what can bring the body back into a natural sense of harmony and well being.
Beautiful. Well, Henry, let's turn this into like a little bit on practices. And so, what are some of the practices that can build that bridge quickly and reharmonize your energy, even in a moment where you might be feeling off kilter?
Absolutely. So the first step in tuning in to your inner healer is tuning in to your body, and not in a way that's judging or hypercritical. It's a more neutral, it's a kinder focus. In other words, we just ask yourself to be present. And so we're going to talk you through a becoming energized experience where you can start to feel how alive, how your living connection is to these wiser, deeper parts of yourself, how you can access those. And because everything that is opening you up, from your fuel at a physiological level to the insights that come through and bring clarity to your schedule for the day, anything that enlivens you is using energy to do it. And so when you turn your attention in and tap into that energy, these other parts of ourselves feel the ripples and start to thrive. The well-being expands.
Mm.
So we're going to begin with something very simple. If I were to ask you, what does your middle toe on your left foot feel like right now? Would you be able to put your attention there and feel it? Just take a moment, put your attention in a part of your body you probably haven't thought about today, that middle toe. Can you notice it with your senses? Now, some of us who've been tuning in can say, oh, yeah, I can feel it. Yeah, absolutely. But you might be one of those who says, no, I can't quite connect to it. I know it's there. I can wiggle it. I can touch it, but I don't really feel it from inside out. So let's play with this a little more, but we're going to start with something easier. We're going to start with one of our fingers. So let's sit comfortably. Put your feet on the floor. Close your eyes if you like. And just simply breathe in and out in nice, easy rhythm. A steady rhythm. And as you breathe in, feel how your body naturally makes room for that air. As you feel your body in the chair, your feet on the floor. And let your mind just softly notice the in and out of your breath. And how already that breath begins to deepen. And your muscles are starting to relax already as you sit in that chair, feet on the ground. You might notice, I have a little pain here, or this part of me feels stiff. It's okay, just wiggle that a little bit. And breathe. He says, as you are breathing and feeling your body in the chair, if you were to assign a number to how much you notice in your body, how much of your body you really feel with your senses, with 10 meaning, oh, I feel so much, I feel wonderfully aware. I can feel that middle toe. I can feel behind my armpit, my tailbone. I can feel all of it. And that would be a 10 on that scale of awareness. But if you are not quite so feeling very much, feeling very little, I know my body's here, I can see it. But that would be more at the 1 end of that scale. This is simply today's snapshot of where we're beginning, a simple baseline. As you breathe in and out in a nice, easy rhythm, feet on the ground, body in the chair. Good. And now, if you'd like to turn your attention to one of your fingers, pick one. Doesn't matter which one. And sometimes tuning into something is easier if we open our eyes. So feel free to look at that finger if you like. It's a beautiful piece of art attached to your body. So look at that finger and move it, wiggle it. Feel how it moves in the air. You can feel the texture of it with other fingers, allowing your senses to really notice this landscape of this finger. How some parts of the skin are wrinkled and some parts are not. How some knuckles in that finger move easily, more freely. What do you feel? How do you notice through any of your senses about this finger? From the outside and from the inside. Can you feel the bones inside? Can you sense how easily or not they move? Can you feel the blood circulating, the nerves in that finger? Can you feel the fingernail or the skin underneath the fingernail? And now notice how that finger connects to the palm and how that part of the finger might feel different than the tip of the finger. You are giving it your attention. And as you give your finger your attention, you are giving yourself permission to notice more. You are noticing the energy in that finger, the flow in that finger. And although you might not use those words, you are feeling at a subtle energy level, just with this simple awareness exercise. How does the finger feel now on that scale of 1 to 10? how much more are you aware of as you sit in your chair? Breathing in and out, feet on the ground. But that is only one tool that we use with quantum touch, our attention. We have another one that's really important. Our intention. And I want you, as you look at this finger, to just think back in the last hour or two, how much this finger helped you. Did it help you brush your teeth, pick up a utensil, keys on a keyboard? Did it help you brush your child's hair or hold your partner's hand? How much does this finger support you every moment and every day? And how often do you take it for granted? So keep breathing and looking at this incredible finger that we have on this hand, and feel appreciation, gratitude, love even. When was the last time you said thank you? When was the last time the finger took a day off? I don't recall mine ever doing that. They don't get paid overtime either. So put your attention and your heart, your intention in this part of your body and experience even more. Watch it come alive in your senses. And you might even notice the corresponding finger on the other hand going, hello, I'm here too. We work together, you know. In this simple awareness expands the richness of your life, of the life energy in your body. And what we've just worked with, what you've just experienced, has given you 2 of the 3 skills you are going to need elevated in quantum touch. The third one is the steady breath that we have been working with. And we're going to tell you in the class how that is going to open your awareness and your energy flow and deepen your connection to more of who you are. All of this will be in the upcoming class. Now, what do you notice now in your fingers, in your hands? Imagine that you're feeling through your whole body and more. And to help you on that journey, Deborah is going to guide you in an experience of a very important part of your brain. Deborah.
Thank you, Henry. Yes, in the next step of our practice together, we're going to guide your attention to a really vital, integrative part of your deep brain anatomy, which, when supported with the life force energy, can truly shift your embodied experience. So for this part of the exercise, you might like to gently close your eyes. And as you do so, just consider your brain, gently placing your attention in your brain. Now, fortunately, with quantum touch, we don't have to be anatomists and physiologists. We don't need to know anything really about the physical locations of the various organs and so on, we know that the life force energy is intelligent and knows exactly where to go and what to do. And so when we simply consider this area, and in this case, the hypothalamus, the energy will automatically go there. Now, the hypothalamus is a small almond-shaped structure located deep in the center of your brain. So for now, let's just imagine or envision that together, a small almond-shaped thing in the center of your brain. That's more than enough. And we're simply going to breathe there. So simply breathing in the region of that small almond shape in the center of your brain. That's right. And now what's important about the hypothalamus is that it's the master regulator of energy homeostasis. It's constantly monitoring internal signals to maintain the body's energy balance. Now, because the hypothalamus acts as the body's master control center, it manages many, many vital tasks like your hormones, your temperature, appetite, and also the stress response. Anybody have some stress going on, right? So whenever there's a condition, whenever there's an illness in the body, especially anything considered longer term or chronic, the hypothalamus has literally gone off balance. It's gone out of kilter, so to speak. It's dysregulated. Hypothalamic dysfunction is a primary cause of many chronic health conditions. And perhaps some of you here in the audience can relate to some of those. And as you take a breath in this area of your hypothalamus in the deep brain, just notice now what you notice there. So we're simply noticing as we take a breath in to the hypothalamus in the deep brain, that small almond shape. What do you notice currently? Now, the human hypothalamus contains about 2 or 3 million neurons in total, along with an even larger proportion of glial cells that support them. So let's imagine together that every single neuron and cell of your hypothalamus is responding immediately and effectively to your breath. The breath itself is packed full of life force energy. And so the millions of cells of your hypothalamus are beginning now to engage with enthusiasm to the stream of nourishing, re-regulating and renewing energy and light and life. See if you can sense the difference as we breathe together in the region of the hypothalamus with the life force energy. Perhaps you can sense the cells and the entire hypothalamus begin to glow as they receive and integrate the flow. So simply breathing in that area and noticing. Yeah, that's right. Now breathe in every direction into and out of the hypothalamus. Imagine the hypothalamus itself has breath and that it is actually breathing. And we're offering the energy, the life force energy to ourselves, to the hypothalamus, that master regulator. And as we do this, let's just notice how the sensations there shift and how that energy is continuing to reshape the experience that you had through Henri's meditation. Notice how this is continuing to reshape your experience now of the energy. Wonderful. You've really got it. And just allow now the fullness of the experience to develop. Fantastic. Your inner healer is absolutely awake within you. So just allow now this wonderful, rebalanced, refueled feeling to fill you up because you're plugged in. That's fantastic. You did really well. And as you just take another breath, get a sense on that scale of 1 to 10 again to see how that might have changed and shifted from the initial baseline sense that Henri asked you to measure. You got the number? Great. And so, Henri.
There already so much experience just from that practice. You just guided us all through. And this is just a taste of what is possible, because we will have specific breathing techniques and especially ways to maximize, to accelerate how you are working with your intention, your attention. And when you put these together, the skills you had that brought maybe this much life force energy through will begin to expand, and you will be surprised. So deeply surprised. I can't tell you how many life shocks I have been given from quantum touch over and over and over again. They don't stop because they're, as Richard says, we don't know the limits of this work. The transformation continues at the pace that is right for you from inside out. So it's a powerful process, isn't it?
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And I want to ask, a little bit about how, if you have specific issues that you're working with, whether it's a physical place in your body or a place that you've been hurt or felt betrayed, like how do you sort of like take what we were just practicing and really apply it in a focused way to free that area up?
Well, Richard has said it's a very complicated thing. We just ask, where does it hurt? And that's what we do. We work with where the pain shows up or where the discomfort shows up. How you work with it is the secret you'll learn in the workshops. But your own blue inner intelligence, that inner healer, is giving you these signals for a reason at all different levels. And this is why tuning into your body with your body awareness is so helpful, because you can pick up the signals from your inner healer before they crystallize into that migraine or into that broken bone. You can feel where pressure is building at an energetic level. You really can become more proactive. Do you find that to be true, Deborah, also?
Absolutely. And maybe we haven't mentioned, this is just the first part of the course. This is the
No.
becoming energized element. But there's a second element to this program as well, which is the becoming whole, which is very much looking into the causation of a condition. Perhaps it's a condition that folks in the audience have been struggling with. Maybe they just haven't been able to shift something at all after trying all kinds of different things, including becoming energized, the first element of the course. Then we dig deeper to actually find out the cause of the condition, and more than that, why it actually hasn't gone away. And that in and of itself can be a revelation for people.
These are tools that were guided to be self-facilitated. In other words, you don't need to have someone saying, now you need to do this and this and this. Once you learn these tools, you can help yourself. And they work so beautifully whenever there's a need, whenever the emotions come up that and the symptoms come up that don't seem to go away.
I'd love for you to both share a little bit about how you can not just in the areas in our body or emotions, but how does this work extend into areas of our life, like finances or other areas? Like how do you sort of like channel the energy in a way that shifts other domains?
It absolutely does. I mean, the energized aspect can do that. And also the whole, becoming whole aspect, the second part of the course can definitely do that as well. And in terms of the wholeness aspect of the work, Stephen, it's a very beautiful, very elegant process. It's 7 steps with 9 questions also. And with those 9 questions, we can pinpoint, for instance, where a financial scarcity actually would come from. And so we can address any aspect of a participant's life using this very refined, very, very clever process that actually, I think it was 30 years in the process. Richard Gordon really did study the process very, very intensely so that he knew that the specific questions in that process are, extremely precise in rooting out the causation of whatever is problematic in one's life.
Mm-hmm.
What most people get stuck is in the story. Or if something comes up and they don't want to feel it, they kind of push it down or they push it back and then develop a story about why this happened. And instead of living with their active energy, moving through and growing beyond and expanding from that experience, we get stuck in re-identifying ourselves with just the story, which means we never really connect to who we are. And the energy never really reaches the places that are so alive inside us. So this, for me, this work is extraordinarily benevolent. It gives you ways to safely and with full support from inside you experience these energies, bring them to the surface, and then see how that process transforms into a greater harmony inside yourself. It truly is. When I get to the end of the process, I never have words because you are so grateful for having had the original condition, because now this is this greater place of being inwardly, foundationally supported and whole. It's a place where you weren't before and you really needed to be.
Well, it's clear like how much passion both of you have for this and how much benefit you both directly experienced and also witnessed in others. So let's talk more explicitly about your upcoming course, which is a beautiful opportunity to really dive deep into this work. So Deborah and Henry have agreed to teach this groundbreaking course. It's called Embodying Your Inner Healer with Quantum Touch. Access your innate healing intelligence to release emotional blocks, restore wholeness, and feel energized again. You can find it at the URL wholewithquantumtouch.com, wholewithquantumtouch.com. It's a 7-week program. There are no prerequisites. And love to just first of all hear your intentions for what people will come away with. And starting with you, Deborah.
Oh gosh, intentions. What will people come away with? I mean, I know what I came away with, and that was, it literally saved my life. I mean, it truly, truly did. For 6 years, I couldn't find a cause. I couldn't discover something that would restore me to what I was before the collision. And quantum touch in 10 minutes did that for me. So, my intention would be that anyone who's out there who's struggling, who just can't find a solution for, you know, a condition that's really deeply painful in their life, in whatever aspect of their life that is, I would really welcome you to take this course, because it could really be freedom from that condition. Yeah, so for freedom from, you know, for liberating that energy that is holding you stuck, this is definitely a course to take a look at.
Beautiful. Henry, do you want to add to those intentions?
There's another part of it, because my life literally came alive after I found quantum touch. Not only was I able to be around people again, but as I worked with the material, like I would walk to work doing quantum touch on myself, just walking, down the street. I walked 5 blocks away, worked 5 blocks away. By the time I'd get to work, my mood would be better. I'd be breathing better. I did this every day for a year, just in these moments, not making special healing session time, but just in my life as I moved through my life. And in that process, parts of myself started opening up. The intuitive skills widened. So without being overwhelmed by them, there was a balance within. And information started pouring in that I had not been able to connect to prior to that. I found, so in the many, many years, it's been 30 years since I've first encountered quantum touch. In all the students that I've worked with and clients, what I notice in them is that when they use quantum touch, not only does it help them heal, it opens them up to more of who they are. Now, that, in this sense, quantum touch is almost transparent. It's like saying, yes, use this to say hello to who you are and what is innately in you. And to me, that is the best gift any modality can give anyone.
I love that. Well, let's go through the modules and give a preview of what you're teaching. So, module 1, connect with your body to feel present, grounded, and in tune with yourself again. Henry?
Yeah, that this one is going to like a deep dive in that experiential moment, a little similar to what we've done, but in a different level and a different scale. You're going to have a breathing technique that you're going to learn that's going to expand the flow of your energy. And you're going to see how each of these intention, attention, and breathing moments help you cultivate energy that can help you by the end of the class. So that
Mod
is module 1.
Module 2, connect with your inner healer to access your body's innate healing intelligence. Deborah?
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a very, very incredible session. It's like finding something within yourself, a bank account that you've long forgotten, a reservoir, an oasis of energy within yourself, and an intelligence, a wisdom, something that you can absolutely connect with and rely upon to very much guide you and just connect you with your own brilliant wisdom from within. And so it really is something that you're going to absolutely enjoy.
Module 3, connect beyond time to receive universal love and support outside of space and time. Henry?
Yes, because when we call it quantum touch because we're working at quantum field at a subatomic level, which means we are not limited by linear time. So that means we have access to the consciousness of at any moment in our past or future. But in this module, we're going to especially work with our past, because this is where so many of us have struggled with trauma or with patterns or imprints that don't seem to budge, no matter what they try. And we're going to learn how to turn and apply very strategically this wonderful universal loving energy to your own younger parts of yourself. And it not only brings ease at an energetic level, becoming energized level. It also sets the platform for module 4 when we shift into the becoming whole material. So we are actually going to be working with moments in our past in safe, supported ways. Yes.
Module 4, open the door to wholeness by discovering the emotional roots of your condition. Deborah.
Exactly. So module 4 really introduces us into the becoming whole aspect of the course. It's a beautiful 7-step process that will take you through that really helps us to transform old hurts and wounds into connection and joy. So it's step 1 is 9 questions that will take you beyond story into a really deep awareness of what's actually at the root of the upset, and you'll learn how your inner healer from one of the previous modules has been giving you a sign language all the way along that's been guiding you from within. And it's just, you'll see that it's such a brilliant choreography that's always been leading you home. So in this session, you really will discover the emotional root of that condition that you would like to shift.
Module 5, release hidden truths by safely processing the emotions you've been carrying.
So here's where we're going to work directly with the energies of emotion. And there's a big 4, I'm not going to tell you yet what they are, but the big 4 we're going to work with that tend to be at the root of a lot of the recurring upsets, the energies we push down and back because they're just so painful. So you're going to understand a simple but really powerful way of understanding how they come about, how you've experienced them. In other words, what they are at an energetic level, and then how to safely release them. And it's going to, in that process, you are going to find that truths that were inside those stories, inside those old experiences, actually were there to give you some information that was important for your growth. So you're going to learn how to work with the energies that are uncomfortable at emotional level. Work safely and privately. This is not yelling to other people. This is no baseball bats to other people's cars. This is purely at an energetic level, how you can release these big 4 emotions and feel the relief that comes when you've been able to honor the truths that were inside these experiences.
Module 6, the transformational pivot, shift from self-protection to self-compassion. Back to you, Deborah.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are steps 3 to 7, and they contain all the experiences that really create the change. That's what we'll be working with in this module. And the realizations that will open within you during this phase are those that can literally transform how you connect with your inner self forever. You're going to be able to leave all those past stories behind. You're going to be able to really talk and listen to your own self and receive incredible insights into the nature of your condition. It's just a remarkable few steps 3 to 7.
And finally, Module 7, celebrate being whole again and integrate your new way of being. Henri.
Yes, at this module, you've completed the 7 steps, but there might still be a question or two, or it might also be time for you to digest this new way of being present in your body, in yourself. So this module is your time to breathe in who you now are, who has really been inside the whole time, yet out of reach. You'll relax in a guided journey that traces your progress from where things start, that pain that wouldn't go away, to where you now are, and be able to use this process again and again in future should something else come up. and habits sometimes do come up. But our own inner healer is there to guide us and remind us there is always a path forward, and we'll guide you how to do that as well. This is a celebration. This is a celebration class.
Great. Well, thank you for that beautiful overview. And again, there's more detail at wholewithquantumtouch.com. I'll share a bit more about the course as well. So in addition to the 7 90-minute live sessions with Deborah and Henry that you'll have, which is also time to do practices together and address questions live, there's recordings of every session, both video and audio, as well as word-for-word transcripts and weekly practices for home. There's a community group to support you and deepen your experience. And on the page, you'll also see there are a number of extra bonuses that have been added to enhance your journey and address other areas of this work. So there's a PDF guide called The Steps to Becoming Whole. That's one bonus. And there's a second bonus called The Genius Inside Your Emotions that Henry's created, which is another PDF guide. And Henry, you want to share more about The Genius Inside Your Emotions?
Yeah, it's why these uncomfortable emotions, as painful as they are, why they show up, and how we can incorporate those experiences in ways that move us forward. It's again the inner healer in its brilliance, giving us exactly what we need in that moment. Yes.
Beautiful. And then there's one final bonus you get if you sign up by midnight tonight Pacific time. This is called Exhausted to Energized, a guided energy experience. Something that Deborah's created. It's an audio teaching and obviously very relevant to our times. Anything you want to share about the Exhausted to Energized bonus that they get today?
Yeah, this one's really designed for folks who are feeling just exhausted, really burnt out, like their batteries are completely flat. And this is a guided audio with music there also that will actually really guide you back into your own self and how you can access that wellspring of energy that's right there within you. So through the guided exercise, folks will start to feel like they've been literally plugged back into the source, and their fuel is all topped up again. So something you can listen to anytime that you're feeling, a little bit shattered or, below par. This is really going to perk you up big time.
That's a great extra reason to sign up today. Again, that bonus is Exhausted to Energized, a guided energy experience. So it's clearly going to be such a beneficial program. We've kept the investment very accessible. It's 3 payments of $128, so you can save 10% when you pay in full with one payment of $349. The course is going to start August 12th and run Wednesdays at 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern. But even if you can't make the live times, you can still get the full value of the recordings, the transcripts, and the community as well. There's some beautiful testimonials on the page from students of both Deborah and Henry. They've taught so many people over the years and so many blessed lives. So there's some really great testimonials about the power of their work and their teaching. So you know that you're in good hands. So again, the whole program is laid out in detail at wholewithquantumtouch.com. And you will get that special bonus if you sign up by midnight tonight of Exhausted to Energized, a guided energy experience. Well, thank you both for this beautiful hour together. Anything that's still on your hearts you want to share with folks who are considering doing the course? And start with you, Deborah.
What if you really did have the power to shift your symptomatology? Because you really do have, I sure wish that I knew 30 years ago how to shift my symptomatology back then before the 6 years of, pain and suffering that I went through. So if folks out there are feeling like they really would like to access their own inner pharmacy, their own inner healer, that reservoir within, then, we'd love to have you join the class.
Beautiful. Henry?
For me, quantum touch is like finding a bank account that I've long forgotten was there and discovering this wealth of resource. It's the gift that keeps giving always. I don't have anything else to add because you will experience shifts in your world from this content. It makes so much of a difference. Thank you. Mhm.
Beautiful. Well, it's clear that just how much passion and how much trust and how much positive impact you've seen from this work. So thank you for sharing a glimpse of it today. And I know people are going to have a much deeper dive and much more powerful immersion in this work who choose to join you in the course. So again, it's all at wholewithquantumtouch.com, and you'll get that special bonus from Exhausted to Energized when you sign up at midnight tonight. So thank you both so much. Thank you all for joining. Many blessings.
You.
Thank you.